So the big tax question is this: how do wealthy people keep their money working for them when selling their business, real estate, or other highly appreciated assets without paying hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in tax? What if we, as business and real estate owners who have poured blood, sweat, and tears to growing our wealth, and who didn't hire expensive tax attorneys and CPAs to map out an exit strategy, knew their secrets? Instead of recreating the wheel, why can't we just model the way they deferred 30 to 50% in tax, paid off debt, funded their next business dream, and most importantly, leave a financial legacy to give to the causes we believe in most? What if their secrets weren't complicated at all, and you just need a guide who is a few steps ahead of you? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brett Swarts, and welcome to Capital Gains Tax Solutions. Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy such as the Deferred Sales Trust is the best way for you to grow your wealth. Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts. In each episode, I'm joined by some of the best investment, real estate, financial independence, and passive income wealth advisors in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. Hey, I'm excited about our next guest. You can find him at smartrealestatecoach.com, but he's an expert when it comes to real estate, but he also has a passion for serving and coaching others to also become what we call wicked smart in real estate. So he's from Rhode Island. I had the pleasure of going there with my wife and kids a couple of years ago with family who were out in Boston. And we went to Rhode Island for the week and ate some amazing fish. If you haven't been there, you should check it out. But please welcome to the show with me, Chris Prefontaine. Chris, how you doing?
I'm awesome, thank you. And good accent. That was good.
Yeah, I butcher it, right? I spent a couple weeks out there, and I try to have some fun with it when the family's out there. So that being said, would you give our listeners a little bit about your story and your current focus?
Sure. So I, after the crash of '08, I had to re-engineer my biz because I was on everything at that time personally. And so it just caused us to re-engineer our entire business to do things a little bit smarter. And that means we buy everything on terms now. We don't use banks. We don't use cash. We don't sign personally. Everything is bought on terms, meaning owner financing or lease purchase. And then we go teach that around North America. So we actually do deals with students in the trenches all around the country and a little bit into Canada.
That's amazing. And we'll dive into more of that on the full interview and how that all works and how you serve and help others do the same. But in the meantime, I'm curious, for our listeners are too, and it's kind of our key focus here. What's the number one biggest struggle or frustration you've had in your real estate career when it comes to capital gains tax deferral, or strategies that either didn't provide that or something you didn't know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just too young and naive prior to 2008 crash, and I was doing a lot of flips, short-term flips. So not realizing the short-term capital gains was different than capital gains and different than trying to avoid or defer capital gains. So a year later or a year and a half later doing taxes, got whacked, and then figured out this terms niche and started doing things longer term and spread my term out. Like, there's no real estate investor that wouldn't share that, because if they flip stuff, they're getting whacked like that. And I didn't realize that there was other ways around it.
Absolutely right. Not having the clarity, or not having someone who's done that and shown you, until you have that, you think that's the only thing that's available is what you're doing. So the key is having a guide and a coach, right, who's maybe a step or two ahead of you, who have actually done that deal in that way. And once they show you, I call it like riding a bike. It's like the Deferred Sales Trust. A lot of people are like, never heard of it. What is it? How does it work? And it seems a little, too good to be true, or this, that. No, well, let's ride the bike. And then once you get comfortable with it, now you're like, oh, why doesn't everyone do this, right? But it's that's part of why we need coaches and guides to help us along there. So we'll dive in more into that on the next interview. But in the meantime, if folks want to connect with you right now to get coaching, right, and to learn more about real estate, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
They can just go to smartrealestatecoach.com, Brett. I'm big into free. There's a free webinar there, and they can connect with us that way, or schedule a free call with me that way. Pretty simple. I love it. They'd love to talk to them.
Excellent. So that's Chris Prefontaine, and he can meet him at smartrealestatecoach.com. And with that, look for the next full episode to drop here soon. And please share this with somebody. Put a little comment there to give us a little love in the Facebook. We appreciate it so much. Bye now.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.